Goed, so ons is nou op bladsy 71 en 72. Remember Lucas's last words were ek is nie julle kind nie, and now Nina says, is jy is. Lucas says, my ma gaan my kom haal, jy sal sien. Jy's Lucas wat weggeraak het, man. 'n bosduif en 'n loerie skree skielik naby. Ek is Benjamin Komuti. Sst, hoor jy dit? Wat? Is jy doof? 'n bosduif en 'n bosloerie tesame. Meisiekind, weet jy miskien hoe ver ons van die pad af is wat lange kloof toe loop? Die harde pad? Ek weet nie. Dis die pad wat deur die bos loop en waarlangs hulle my huis na toe geneem het. Dis Diepwalle se pad. Hoe ver is ons van die harde pad af? Langse loop. Weet jy hoe om daar te kom? Ja. Sal jy my wys om daar te kom? Die geheim wat ek jou wil wys, is op pad daarheen. Miskien kan ons tot in Komse bos se sleeppad loop. Om van daar af na die harde pad by Diepwalle te kom, sonder om te verdwaal is maklik, is niks. Wat van die olifante? Ek weet nie. Ag, waar is die olifante? Ek weet nie. Kom. Sal hulle ons nie jaag nie? Sorg net dat jy 'n dik boom kies om te klim. Lucas op band as volwassene. Ek het haar nie vertrou nie. Sy het my slaaphemd soos 'n rok gedra. Dit was bondels te groot vir haar en het tot onder haar knie gehang. Haar voete was so rad soos 'n klipboksin. Sy het al vinniger gehardloop. Trapkant langs, dis glad tot onder. Waarheen gaan ons? Onder na die bosspruit toe. Hoe ver is ons van die pad wat lange kloof toe gaan? Ver, kom. Nina gly en val, die hemp is vol modder. Kyk hoe lyk my slaaphemd nou. Hoe dink jy moet my ma weer die hemp skoon kry? Ma sal hom maklik skoon kry. Ek praat van my ma. Nina raak ongeduldig. Jy's Lucas wat weggeraak het, man. My ma is jou ma en jou pa is my pa. Ek is Fiela Komuti se kind. Hulle sê dan sy's bruin. Waar kan 'n bruin mens 'n wit kind hê? Jy's ons Lucas wat weggeraak het. Ek sê jou dis 'n lieg. Pa sê, ma het jou dadelik uitgeken. Jou pa kan sê wat hy wil. Ek sê vir jou, ek is nie julle kind nie. Nina is snipperig. Nou wie se kind is jy dan miskien? Ek weet nie. Ons moet omdraai. Neem my terug na julle huis toe. Nina hardloop weg. Lucas op band. Sy wou nie. Sy het soos 'n wilde ding weggespring en sonder omkyk verder teen die helling afgehol. Kyk. Right, so Nina is obviously convinced that this is her brother Lucas and no one's going to tell her otherwise. We can see she has a very strong belief in what people say. Even though Lucas says, or Benjamin says, that he's not their child, she does not believe that in any way, shape, or form. Then a bosduif and a loerie skree naby, so it's two birds in the forest are singing, and Nina immediately is enthralled by this. She's like, wow, a bosduif and a loerie all together singing. Because when Lucas then speaks, she says, quiet man, aren't you hearing that? And she's like, what? Obviously he's asking what, because he doesn't know the forest like she does. He doesn't know the animals in the forest like she does. And she says, are you deaf? It's a bosduif and a bosloerie. So she sees again the magic that is in the forest and not just the bad things in the forest. Then we see this name, meisiekind, girl child basically. This is something that throughout the story, every time he talks to Nina, especially in Act 3, he refers to her as meisiekind instead of Nina. So it's kind of a little bit of a nickname. So he wants to know about the road, which is important to him because he wants to get back there. Nina says it's far, Diepwalle all the way there, and now she's coming with a trick. She says the secret that I want to show you is on the way there. So she really wants to still show him the secret, and this is her way of getting that. Okay, so she's not really going to show him the way. It's just a way for her to kind of get him to do what she wants him to do. Lucas is scared about the elephants. Note the use of the word olifant. We'll get to that again later. Nina says, I don't know where the elephants are, let's go. So she's not scared about that. And she just says, just make sure you climb a thick tree if they start chasing us. Goed, then Lucas, as an adult on tape, explains to us now a little bit more. So here we can see him almost reminiscing about this time, about how they basically became friends. He mentions that he did not trust her, hy het haar nie vertrou nie, and she was wearing his sleep shirt or his night shirt as a dress, which tells us that these people did not have clothes or new clothes or nice clothes like he had in the Lange Kloof. Okay? He admired her very much because she was very agile, like an antelope running in the forest, and she ran very fast. He couldn't keep up. She explains to him how to step so that he won't fall. She tells him where they're going to the Bosspruit, and then how far is the road leading to the Lange Kloof, and she says far, which again tells us he has right not to trust her because she's not taking him in the right direction. Then she slips and falls. The shirt is full of mud, and here again we can see how Nina as a child doesn't quite understand everything as well, because Lucas is upset because he's saying, how is my mother going to get that clean, referring of course to Fiela. Nina says, Ma will get it clean very quickly. Nina, however, referring to Barta. Alright? Lucas again says, I'm not talking about your mother, I'm talking about my mother, I'm talking about Fiela. And then Nina gets impatient. She's like, you are Lucas that got lost. How do you not know this? How do you not understand this? So she accepted him as her brother immediately. She has a friend, she's got someone to play with, she's got someone who is on her side. And she doesn't understand how he can't understand that. Lucas then carries on saying he's Fiela Kamuti's child, and then it further explains to us how she doesn't understand everything. Because now Nina says, but she's colored. How can a colored person have a white child? I'm telling you, you are Lucas. So she is here not understanding the whole concept of how one person can adopt another person's child in order for him or her to, be okay in life. Lucas then says, I'm telling you, you are lying. And Nina says, but Dad said Ma recognized you immediately. And he goes on again saying, well, he can say what he wants to say, I'm not your child. And then Nina kind of becomes a little bit cheeky, if you will, because he's carrying on that I'm not your child, I'm not your child, I'm not your child. And then she's like, okay, but if you're not our child, whose child are you then? And Lucas is, again, I don't know, which tells us at this point already is where his issues with his identity starts, because he doesn't really know who he is. He thinks he's Fiela's child. The magistrate says he's Lucas, but he doesn't actually know who he is. Okay? Then he wants to go home, and Nina runs away. Typical childish, playing games, all of those things. In Lucas or Bant saying she didn't want to, she jumped away like a wild thing, and when I looked around, she was gone. Okay, so obviously for a child who is now in the forest, who never really knew the forest up to this point, and now he's alone in that forest, that's quite a scary thing. Okay, so we'll carry on with the scene in the next video.